So tell us about the launch of the, back then it was called the Interoperability Alliance, and what happened to that? Kind of like a quick update.
Yes, so the Interoperability Alliance was between us, Wenchain, and Aon. Those were the three projects that were working around interoperability. And, I think a lot of time has passed since then. Icon, we're still very focused on interoperability. Aon, I believe we're still very close to the team there. Matt spoke, and they have pivoted to another project with a different mission. And I'm not too sure what happened to Wenchain, but we know that one of their founders that were very close to have left. So, I think one thing that you have to remember about this industry is like everything is very fast paced. Things could pivot one way or the other. But one thing that is important is that we kept ourselves very relevant in the space. We made sure that we continued innovating. We were going out there and finding some new partners that didn't exist 2-3 years ago. Band Protocol is a great example of one team that we're very close to. We just announced a partnership where we're actually a validator on a Band Protocol, and Band Protocol is a validator on the Icon network. So we're seeing like newer and different and better partnerships. So I think a lot of the partnerships, it doesn't matter if it's on crypto world or the real world. A lot of the partnerships just don't work out. And that doesn't mean that's not a bad thing. You have great intentions from the very beginning to try to get things working. But at the end of the day, we have best interest of our community in mind. And if after a few months or after a year, if the interests don't really align with the original, thought or original goal, then you just have to pivot and you have to, move on from those type of partnerships. So that's exactly what happened with the Interoperability Alliance.
Okay. And then what about upcoming partnerships the foundation is working on? Anything else besides what you just mentioned?
Oh yeah, I mean, we had a lot of great partnerships over the past few months. We partnered with one of the largest, if not the largest mobile payments platform in South Korea, where now any ICX holder in South Korea can use their ICX for payment for merchants to buy in KFCs or Pizza Hut. They could, it's on a mobile payment basis. So it's very easy. You don't need a separate Visa card in order to go through a existing traditional network. Now, if you have ICX, you could go through the Nal's payment system called Paycoin, which is an application that you could download with your mobile phone. You create an account, and then you could automatically deposit your ICX and start using it. And we believe this is the future. It is much more frictionless way of spending your crypto in the real world. Whereas a lot of these other projects or a lot of these other workaround method has been to go through the Visa and MasterCard network. And I think that's one of the biggest advantages of Korea is that Korea has a very sophisticated, very intricate payment network that is far more advanced than I think what people here in the US understand, because everyone just works through Visa and MasterCard these days, right? Like there's no other way that you do payments. Of course there are other ways, but the primary way is to use your credit cards when you want to spend something in the digital world. In Korea, you have so many other options outside of Visa and MasterCard. And these are direct payments through banks. There are other service providers. And crypto fits right in, where through mobile payments, you don't need a credit card, you can do payments right away. So, I can't really explain the entire ecosystem of payment space with you today, because that will take a long time. But I'll just let you know that we've partnered with the largest mobile payment platform in Korea called the Now FinTech. They hold about 50% market share of South Korea. And pretty much you could spend your ICX for any merchant in South Korea today, or not today, but in the next couple of months.
That's great, because I recall when I went to Korea, this was January 2018 for the ICON conference. I was just blown away by how many people were using crypto. Like crypto was almost mainstream in Korea. And I think it's one of the most advanced countries when it comes to crypto.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the reason why I'm doing this interview and live AMA with you today is because we go way back, right? I remember you coming out to Korea with your team to the ICON events, to the ICON summit. We had a great time talking. And when our PR company that we're working with, I've been very busy very recently because I'm working on a couple of projects that you'll hear about. Actually, we're launching one next week, which I can't talk about yet, but I'll let you know. So I've been very busy over the past few months. I've been rejecting a lot of the interviews. But when I heard your name, I decided, hey, let's catch up. And I thought it would be fun just to talk today.
Yeah. When's the next conference?
Good question. So we're looking into doing a ICON developer conference next year. Once ICON 2.0, which is on the technology side, the single largest update that we're doing for the ICON network. Just like ETH 2.0, we have ICON 2.0. It's built from scratch. It's already built. We use it completely different language. It's built on Go. It's going to be much more scalable, much faster, and much more flexible for us to do things, create much more complex system around blockchain. So once this goes live, right now it's on testnet. We started migrating a lot of the activities on, of the ICON network. So once everything gets migrated, which will be next year, we want to have a dev conference and invite more developers to start building on the ICON network.
Yeah, I think that would be great because last year I went to Ethereum DevCon in Osaka, Japan, and it's always a blast. This was pretty much at the bottom of the bear market, but there are so many developers there who flew from around the world, and just the sentiment there was just so positive that I said, you know what, crypto is not going anywhere. It just made me even more bullish on crypto, and I feel like having those real life events is always awesome.